Welcome back, everyone. This week we're going to cover brochure racks and how to use them effectively and affordably in your market to get more clients and expand your brand's reach in your marketplace. So the first thing that you want to kind of think about when you're putting together your brochure racks is your content. And your content is just the words in or and around your brochure. So you have most people use the threefold. We use the threefold, as you can see, the one in the middle. That's our actual brochures with the brochure rack cards and the cards in the rack, and those are three folds. And we also have a template up here that you can be able to download this and look at it. But basically, there are a few things that you want to make sure you have in your brochures. A lot of times when you see brochures and you pick them up in different places, everywhere I go, especially if I see a home care brochure, I'm gonna pick it up and check it out just to kind of see what others are doing. And what I usually see, and what I think that this that's not working as much is some other stuff, is that they're just kind of talking about the services they're offering, and and that's usually it. It's like a long list of all the services they're offering, and some company information, location, website. Uh, they might have a few other things in there, but I don't really see anything that's going to capture. I don't usually see anything that's going to capture the client or the potential lead, the potential client with what I'm seeing in these other brochures. So just from doing a lot of studying and research, we came to the conclusion that it's best to kind of tell your story as briefly and as possible in those racks. I mean, in those brochures, because people connect more so to a story than they do, just bullet points. So, what we try to do is, and again, you'll be able to read it, is we try to tell our story, our company story, our company, narrative as briefly as we could, while also putting points in there that why they should work with us. We have 7 top reasons for them to work with us, why they should work with us, and also um, we have testimonies. We have actual testimonies that we have gotten from our current and past clients that we're actually in our brochure racks. I mean, yeah, in our brochures. So when you pick up our brochure, you're going to get a great deal of information about who we are. If you read the whole thing, you're going to know everything about Just Caring Hands, um, the type of people we've serviced, our backstory, how Dale got into the business, and some of the top pointers. The top points of who we are and why you should work with us and why it will be great to work with us. And with this content that we're showing you, we're totally okay with you, um, copying it, using it for yourself, but just make sure you kind of personalize it, and make it, real and consistent with your brand and your story. But definitely use our template to outline yours. And we got our brochure racks done on Vistaprint. Um, there are probably some cheaper places, but it's almost a time thing. I'd rather spend less time looking for a cheaper place than just already have the template on there and stuff like that. So I'm okay with the prices that Vistaprint has at this point in their format, and our template is already uploaded. So all we have to do is just click buy more, and we'll get some more sent in the mail. And also with our business cards, also they're there as well. So we get the racks. If you look on the far left, there's the racks that you can put your brochures in, and also you can put your cards in there. So um, another point that we want to talk about today is the locations. Where are you going to put these racks? Um, again, assisted livings, nursing homes, other home medical home care services, rehab centers, senior centers, community centers, anywhere where there's going to be where you can uh, get some seniors coming in and out and some family members coming in and out. So they might not necessarily be where the seniors are going to go, but also where the family members may go. So like when you think about women's nail salons and day spas and stuff like that, uh, cosmetic surgery clinics, because usually the older women have parents. So if they're going to get cosmetic surgery, you can most likely they'll run across your rack and they might have a parent. They're usually in the age group where they have a parent that is up in age and who may need service. So you just kind of want to think about some of these different places, but you want to get out as many racks as possible and find out a bunch of different locations. And I mentioned home health care, home health service providers, so like medical agencies. So we're non-medical, and there are other medical agencies in our marketplace. And they say, and I used to think like, why would they want to do business with us? And then Dale kind of explained it to me that they can't service because they're getting insurance and Medicaid and stuff like that to pay them. When they get a client who doesn't necessarily fit that criteria, they can't service them, or they're not interested in service them most times because they just won't get the pay that they need. Whereas though they might get a higher fee if it's obviously they're going to get a higher fee if it's a medical client, and for them to charge for them to service a non-medical client, which is companion care or personal care like we're offering, then it's just sometimes it just doesn't make sense for them. So they will call you and say, look, we do have a client here or a potential client here for you that we can't service. They only need companion care, and that's the only thing that the doctor has prescribed for them, and we can't service them because of the rate. And we can, chances are we can, because again, we've structured our business to where though we can offer lower rates and still make a profit. So where they're offering, they might be starting at 22 and up. We can service from 18 to 22. So we can still make money at $18, and they just can't. So don't hesitate to network with other home health care agencies. You might have some trouble with somebody who's a direct competitor who also offers companion care, but I wouldn't have, and I don't have a problem reaching out to everyone, and because again, when you're in this business, you're going to start running into different business owners and stuff like that, and home care service business owners who do the same thing as you. And there's always an opportunity to network. It's enough for everyone. So if they might have a question or some information that they can offer you, or have a question that you can help them out. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be giving them clients or they're going to be giving your clients, but you still can help each other out in the marketplace. And for example, one of my students who's doing very well is in my market, and I'm not threatened by this at all. There's often times when he'll call me and say, man, I got a shift, I can't fill it. So I'll send a caregiver his way, and we get our caregiver, we're going to get paid, but it's his client. But, because he couldn't fill it, why let the money just go away instead of letting his coach and mentor be able to fill a shift. So don't hesitate to work with other people, just depending on, their their character and stuff like that, because most people who are in business are trying to do good business, but there are also people that you don't want to just deal with because they might not seem to have great integrity and stuff like that. So you just kind of want to be careful, and you just feel people out, and if they're give them the benefit of the doubt, and if they're doing giving you good information and they're coming off as good people, then don't hesitate to help them out. And just another way to get the word out there about your business. Outsourcing. When it comes to outsourcing, what I'm referring to is getting someone else to put your racks out for you. So now what we have is a basic route, a list of about 100, and I think we got like 126 locations, and that goes from funeral homes, law offices, geriatric uh, doctors' offices, rehab clinics, and nursing homes, assisted livings. We have basically located all the places, the ideal places for us to put our brochure racks at. And we have a list. And with that list, now that we have a list, we can create a system around it. So we basically just hire someone once a month to get all our racks out to this list. So we're not necessarily getting out all 100 locations every month. That's a goal. 100. It's 100 plus locations, but that's, and like I said, that's a goal. But what we do is we hire a person, just like a $10 an hour day. They give them $10 an hour. They have their list, and we have I'm gonna get into the routing software where you can actually just print out the list or download the list of each address based on the route. So if you have 50 locations that you have to hit in, say, like 3-4 days, this routing software will allow you, it'll put it in order. So if you're starting at, say, the north side of your city, it's not going to take you to like the next addresses on the south side. It's going to hit all the ones that's closest to each other, and it's just going to keep going closer, closer, closer until you end up on the other side of your city. It won't just zigzag you across the city, trying to, because that is, very ineffective. And if you're trying to do it yourself, you can't really figure that out. So to really outsource this task to someone, and like I said, if you're, we figure our person, 8 hour shift, $10 an hour for $80, they should be able to get out 15 to 20 racks during that day. So, and that's with traffic, taking a break and stuff like that. I don't expect them to do any more than that, and I'm okay with that because I know I only have to spend this a few times a month. They can get them all out within a week. If they're doing 20 for 4 days, that's 80 racks that went out. And like I said, we're not even getting that many out in a week. And it's just a great way to, because you can start out smaller. You could just say, this is a monthly thing. Excuse me, not a week, a month. But I can get it done in 1 week, but like over like 3 or 4 day period. So using the routing software, you give them the racks. You give your rack placer, whatever you're going to call it, your marketing consultant, the racks and the software. But there's also another part of this. You want to make sure that you go out with them, obviously, for the first couple of times, so they can see how you not only get the racks into the location, but how you interact with the location, whether it's the receptionist at the front desk, whether it's whoever's there, whoever you're dropping the rack off to, or whoever you're encountering. You want to make sure that they understand how you present your company at these different locations. So obviously you're extra polite. You're always offering, like, how can you help, and if there's anything that we can do, or if you ever need anything, give us a call. And obviously in regards to home care, just give us a call if you have any questions about services, or just a client or a patient that you might have, or a friend, or a client that you might have, that we can help you. No cost, just give us a call, and we'll kind of help you out. And if there's an issue or something referring to home care with a member of so whether it's a doctor's office, obviously that's a patient, or if it's like a lawyer's office, that's their client. So you just let them know how helpful you're going to be, and that you're always open to help out if you can. And this is kind of like the practice that you want the person that you're sending out there to kind of mimic the way you've done it. And another thing that they're going to you want them to do is take notes. And one thing we have them do is take notes. And this is why it kind of takes a little longer. And I don't pressure. I would rather get the racks out. It's not a rush to get them out. I would rather the racks be getting out, a relationship is being formed, and information is being, recorded. So what I mean is, we get the racks out, we get there, they get the racks to the actual location, but not only that, there's a relationship or a rapport being built with our company and that particular place where the rack is going out. So whether it's, like I said, a doctor's office, a law office, a funeral home, wherever, I want to make sure that there's an actual relationship being established. So when they do go back, and if you get to pick someone, you want to pick somebody that you can keep sending out there, so they can kind of, again, start building that rapport, start building that relationship with these different locations. And like I said, that what I asked for is just kind of take a couple notes after you drop the rack off and get back into your car. You just want to take a couple notes. What happened? Who did you sit with? Who did you meet with? What were their, how was their attitude? Stuff like that. Just not a whole lot of information, but like a couple of sentences, and just on how you felt about that actual location when you dropped off your rack. And that's it. And they just go all around to all your locations. I think we're doing like 60 a month now. So they're getting out about 60 racks a month. And these racks will have your phone ringing if you do this consistently. Everything in marketing and business boils down to consistency. So you have to do this consistently. When we first got started, we started with the racks and we didn't get them out. We didn't have a system. We got them out once in a while. We got them out. And it was like the locations weren't responding to us because there was no relationship built. Now Dale is like a rock star. She's famous in our marketplace. We just focus on one county. We're not trying to get the whole, East Coast. We just trying to focus right on our county, because it's hard enough to, make a name for yourself in your county, let alone trying to spread yourself too thin across the whole state, or multiple counties. And people kind of get that mixed up because they just they have good intentions, but they just don't realize the resources that it actually takes to broaden your reach. And they also don't understand that there's just as many seniors in your community who need care than any other community. So if you just focus on your community, and getting the finding the 10, 15, 20 clients in your community, in your marketplace, that need service, then that's all you should need to get your company up and doing some good numbers. And again, we were just mentioning the gatekeepers. These are the people. These are usually women. It can vary in different ages depending on what location it is. And you want to make sure that the person who's placing your racks is, or if you're doing it in the beginning, obviously you might be doing it in the beginning, and it's okay to be doing it in the beginning. You actually want to be doing it in the beginning because you're the face of the company. And believe it or not, they really, when people want to work with you, want to work with your company, or they may need your company, they really enjoy talking to the owner, opposed to an employee, because they know if they're talking to an owner or a managing partner, they feel as if they can get their questions answered quickly, they can get responses quickly, and there's not a whole bunch of people in the middle that they have to go through before they can get answers and stuff like that. So that was like a thing that we learned when we got a huge contract from an assisted living facility that has over 200 beds. And the reason that Dale got the contract, and I'll kind of explain the contract because it did come from a brochure rack, it was because, and this is one that Dale actually went to, and the lady was very excited that a former caregiver had actually started her own company and was out here pushing her company and presenting her company in her area. And she was just so excited about that. And another thing she was excited about was the fact that she when she needs a caregiver, she doesn't have to go through, because they'll give her personal number, obviously, because she was an important person in the process. She wasn't just like a mere gatekeeper at the front desk. She was someone. She was part of the discharge process, where actually she controlled who got, who what company did they call for services. Pretty much, she was the person, the go-to person that you want to meet. And I don't know the exact title that she had, but she was like she was over that part of the process at that particular assisted living facility. Now you go to different facilities, they have no facility, they're not all the same, so they have different titles and stuff like that. So you might want a care manager, something like that. So you just kind of want to just ask who's in charge of this particular aspect of care, who finds the caregivers for your assisted living, and they'll give you the title. But anyway, she was excited that she was going to be able to. She said, "Well, I'm very, I really want to be able to talk to somebody, because the other company we were talking to or working with, we always had to call, call into the office, get placed on hold, or have to get a call back, and we just weren't getting they just weren't getting their shifts filled. So they were upset, and it was like Dale had came on the perfect time. Their contract was up, and that it ended, like, I think it was like in October or something, with the other place, and we started that following year. So like in January of this year, 2016, we started working with them. So definitely, you want to make sure that if you're going and meeting with these people at these locations, that you're forming rapport and being nice and respectful. And remember, try to do your best to remember names at these places. And if you can't remember, that's another reason to take notes. So if you got ABC Assisted Living on Main Street, the person that you're going to meet with is Linda Jackson. Make sure you write that somewhere, so you can all of the names of the people that you're contacting or meeting with at these different locations. You want to know the names, and you want to start to take the gatekeeper title off and form relationships with actual people. And that's what you want to do. So when you walk in there, it's like, "Hey, Linda, how you doing? I'm just dropping off a rack and see how we can help." And just kind of just wanted to touch bases with you guys and see how everything's been. How was your weekend? Talk a little bit of personal about yourself. The kids had this, and we started back in school. And it's just like, you with these kind of things, you're building rapport. And a lot of times you can't get so far into it, but if they're not busy, obviously you can. But if they're you try to get as much face time as possible with these people, and you say, like, why would they pick your company? Why would they, what separates you from other companies? Everybody knows this stuff. Most home care services know about brochure racks and where to put them and stuff like that. So obviously you're not going to be the only home care service coming to that place. But what's going to be the deciding factor for them to choose you versus someone else? Chances are it's going to be the fact. It's going to be statistically, it's the people they like and the people that they last saw. So if they saw you last and they liked you, they're going to they're going to call your company for the services, or they're going to reach out to you. That's just who people like to talk to people and deal with people who they like. And they don't necessarily like to deal with people they don't like. So be likable. Make sure the person who's going out there is is likable. And again, monthly visits, you just want to try to go out there at least once a month. I wouldn't suggest going anything past 30 days, because it's just like, it gets weird. And even if you could bump it up to like every 21 days, that's even better because I mean, if somebody haven't seen you in 3 months, it's like, okay, this person again. You don't remember your name, you don't remember their name, um, and it just feels kind of weird. So this it kind of weakens your opportunity to build rapport. So what you want to do is stay consistent and visit and no less than every 30 days, or don't even start until you can visit every 30 days, because you don't want to start and then stop and then start and stop. And we did that, and it made for some uncomfortable situations with Dale in the beginning, where she'd go in and the lady said, "Oh well, I remember you, but I don't kind of. So you want to be consistent and constantly going back on a schedule basis. Um, and another thing you could do is call. You know, if you can't necessarily get the racks out, just call and say, "Hey, this is such and such. I would just, I'm with Just Carrying Hands, and I was just wondering what was our rack. Could you take a look? Could you see our rack from where you're sitting, or when you get some time, can you check and see if we have any brochures left?" And this is like the last. I wouldn't necessarily say this doing versus going there, but if you have no other choice and you just can't get there, but you have your list, call. Um, Say like you might not have no brochure racks right at the moment. You don't have many, so you can't go do the whole route. Just call around, and just again, that's not the best ideal way. I feel like FaceTime and whether it's you or somebody representing your company, I think that's the best way. But if you have no other choice, at least call and just kind of remind them who you are and what you're calling about, and let them know the same stuff, just small talk and stuff like that. A lot of times people, um, moving on. A lot of times we get questions about referral fees, and the way we look at referral fees when it comes to um, people outside of our company, because obviously we pay referral fees to caregivers for new clients and caregivers for other caregivers. They refer great caregivers. We'll give you a referral fee for that. And our current clients, we pay referral fee to them if they send over new clients. But when it comes to people in the outside community, like where we're placing our brochure racks, it only for me. I don't know what other companies do, and this is the lovely thing about owning your own company. You can do what you want to do. But what I suggest is that medical facilities like nursing homes, assisted living, rehab centers, doctor's offices, hospitals, stuff like that, I won't tell anybody about a referral fee, and I won't offer a referral fee to no one in those places. But if we're talking about like a law office, an accountant's office, a you have what they call estate planners. We have a couple of these locations on our list. Um, Again, like um, day spas and stuff like that. Places like this, like businesses, people that are like in like business owners, and it's like a for profit. It's not more of like a doctor's office. We do present people with the referral opportunity, and again, we don't have any. We have a set rate that we pay out over the course of a time. But that's something you kind of want to figure out for yourself. What we pay, if it's a client and they say, like, for instance, we get a client from somebody who works at the salon, or somebody who come from the salon, and they're like, hey, we're sure that and the client actually proved that they said they did recommend them to us, then we're willing to pay that salon, maybe like the owner, $500, $300 to $500, but it's spread out over the course of the time. So we'll break that $500 over to a couple of pays. So like if the client stays on for a certain amount of time, basically what I'm saying. So if they stay on for 4 weeks, we'll give them $125 a week after the first week, because as a referral fee. And it also depends on how many hours they get and stuff like that. So it kind of varies, but they will get a referral fee from us if the client stays on for at least 90 days. So they'll get their full 500. And And again, that's just something you kind of want to think about. Different companies do different things. So um, what we're starting now, new, is a marketing folder, and it's a bonus because it's not even something that we're talking about to anyone outside of this program, because it's like it's a pretty cool concept that we came up with. I'm having the folders designed now, and what we're doing is not only are we placing the brochure racks, we're going to start placing these folders, and the folders are going to consist of referrals. Like we're going to get references. I mean, not referrals. I mean, I guess you can call them referrals, but reference letters with letterhead from all the clients that we've then had that are willing to do it. So we can get. I want to put at least 5 in there. So we're going to have 5 reference letters, at least on letterhead. So like that's whatever, if they work for whatever company that the client works for. When I mean the client, not the senior, I'm talking about the person who's actually paying us. It's usually like the children or the family members. We try to get them to, we get them to give us the reference letters. We're going to put our insurance in there, a copy of our insurance in there, our bond, a copy of our LLC, a sample contract, a brochure, a list of services that we offer, and I think that's it. But with that folder is everything in the brochure, but it's everything in a brochure and more. So there'll be like a little card slot in the folder where we're gonna have our card in there. So not only are we gonna be leaving the brochures, we're gonna also hand that folder off to try to get it to the people who really can make decisions, and we want them to constantly be reminded about us. And it's just another way to kind of level up our brand and kind of make it look more professional, and it's a branding tool, but it's also very informative, because now they can see all, they can see everything that we are. We're going to have like a rates, like pay scale, based on, like what the rates would be, so they can have basically everything they need to know to make a decision. So if they say, for instance, an accountant has a client who he finds out needs care, he has this folder. He said, "Oh wow, I have this folder over here. Let's you can check this out and see if maybe this company can help you out." Same with a doctor's office, same with a law office, and we just want to get some folders out, because sometimes it's just going to be places where you can't put a rack out. When you first start going out and creating and finding your locations, they won't let you put a rack there, and it's just nothing you can do about it. And you can leave a brochure and a card, but it's like, man, nobody's really gonna, that thing might end up in the trash. But if you can say, hand them this nice, well presented folder, kind of, flip through it so they can see what's in it, and let them know that this folder here, can you pass it to your boss or whoever the decision maker of getting a client, if they ever need home care, who would be the one to pick the person. That's who you want the hands that that folder to go in, whose hands you want that folder to go in, and that's who we plan on getting that folder to. All the locations we do put racks out, but also the places that won't allow us to put racks. So we're just kind of expanding our locations with the folders, and also having the folders handy as well. So we want to keep some in the car at all times so we can have them. And because you're always meeting people, if you're like we are, we're always like on it. So it's like if we see some seniors or some people struggling and getting in and out of the car, hey, we're in the home care business. My wife is the senior whisperer. Like she's the best caregiver in the country, and that's how we present it. And everybody can be the best in the country, but that's the kind of confidence you want to present when you especially when you're just walking up to people on the street, when you see them and stuff like that, and you make that acquaintance. But the folder is just another way for us to kind of get our brand out there, and in a professional way. So that's pretty much what it is about the brochure racks and what we're doing. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the video, or leave them at the private group, and we'll get to you and answer them the best we can. And if we can't find the answer, we'll figure it out together. We'll find it together. So thanks for sticking with us today for the brochure racks module, and we'll see you soon on the next one.